Navigating anxiety is super rough within and of itself. All of these things that are blocking you from being able to move forward. I heard somebody like coin the phrase Godfidence, like just like have confidence in him.
Totally.
That's something that I really have to hold on to because he's always going to show up.
That's my testimony in this last 10 years, really doing what God told me to do, letting things go, walking away from certain things, being dedicated in a different way, and God just moving. I'm proud of that.
You know how many people don't do it? You're not going to be happy in your life if you don't pursue God's purpose for your life.
Yeah.
You're not going to be happy.
Yeah.
That's going to bother you for the rest of your life.
One of the major things that I had to let go personally in my life was...
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Valley of the Heroic podcast. I am so excited to be here today. It's actually been a few weeks since I've recorded an episode, so I might be a little bit rusty, but I am not short of excitement today because I am here today with a dear friend of mine, Brianna, who might be a little bit nervous, but I know she's going to do absolutely great.
Yeah.
Because, I just want to share real quick before I even ask you a question, just how wonderful of a person you are, just like that aura that people have. And you can kind of just feel your heart through a lot of the things that you do, even the way that you speak and intentionally connect with people. So I'm excited to jump into today's episode.
Me too.
I have the most randomest question for you
Okay.
to just break the ice. What was one of your favorite, or you know what was your absolute favorite cartoon growing up and why?
Oh my goodness. I was not a big cartoon girl. I didn't love cartoons, but I love Nickelodeon. You know, I was born in 87, so like early 90s.
I was a Nick kid too.
You know, like Nickelodeon. And I was just showing my kids Friday night, my mom would make popcorn. Me and my sister, who are very close in age, would put our blanket down. And it was Ren and Stimpy. It was all that. This was the lineup. All that, which was not a cartoon, but Kenan and Kel. Then Ren and Stimpy, which was terrible. But it was part of the lineup, and then it was Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yes.
And I always loved a spook. So it was that lineup. Ren and Stimpy was obviously the cartoon. But it was that lineup for us. It was like Friday night, popcorn, sit down. We about to get spooked. We about to laugh. That was like, when I think about my childhood, I think like my mom orchestrated like these wonderful experiences for us.
That's dope.
I try to do that as a mom as well, you know? So yeah, I guess Ren and Stimpy, which I really didn't love. It was just that it was like the prelude to Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah. I actually, like, oddly enough, I always remember this Are You Afraid of the Dark episode of the pool. Do you remember that one?
Yes.
That one scared the
where
living daylights out of me.
They put the chemical in, and then you could see like the thing that was swimming in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That jug scared
All
me.
of them were a little bit. A lot of those episodes were like...
They were not kids.
They were not kids episodes.
Friendly.
No.
Like, I was like terrified.
Yeah.
But I would keep watching, which is the weird thing about scary stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a scary movie person, especially as I got older.
Yeah,
like,
me either.
I did not really like scary movies growing up. Like, I remember being at one of my dear friend's house. His name is Ray Ray. And he like literally forced me to watch Paranormal Activity, which I hear is not even that scary.
Yeah.
And I was literally like standing up against the wall, screaming at the TV at certain parts. And
really?
He's just like for him, it was comedy because I was just he's just cracking up at me the whole time.
As an adult, you were screaming?
No, this is me like 22, maybe 21 years old.
Wow.
Like full grown man. Like I don't like scary movies. And I'm just like, what is that? Why?
Really? I've always loved scary movies. Like, I always loved them. And then as I got older, I realized, spiritually, I'm just not opening that door.
Yeah.
So I won't watch them in my house. I want to watch them.
Yeah.
When Sinners came out, I wanted to watch Sinners. I really did. But I just won't open that door.
Yeah.
I just want to,
100%. Same here.
You start dreaming about it. You start, you know what I mean? I don't want it in my spirit, but I love that form of entertainment.
Yeah, like getting spooked. Now, going back to all that though, all that was my bread and butter too.
Yeah.
Like I gotta admit, I loved all that. And the
Talented
personalities
kids.
that they had on that show.
Talented kids.
Like it was crazy just how funny and how engaging they were. And Kenan and Kel were my absolute favorites.
Yeah.
Like Who Loves Orange Soda? Kel loves orange soda. Like I used to say that all the time.
Yeah. Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Like, I love that. I think that opened like, I used to watch that. I watched that. I watched Barney, you know, I have a background in like acting. And it was like some of those early shows where I was like, I can do that. You know, like
Yeah.
watching that, it was like, I want to be on that show. I remember watching Barney as a kid. And this is back before there was like, you know, internet where you could like search for numbers. So I was like searching in the phone book for like casting for Barney to like, at like 8 years old to try to see, okay, maybe in the yellow pages I can find the casting
Wow.
department for Barney
Uh-huh.
because I can do that and be on that show,
Yeah.
you know?
That's so
It was those
interesting.
early shows that was like made me think, oh, this is what I want to do.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, the ingenuity of an 8-year-old to be like, let me go look up
Let
the
me look in the
casting.
yellow pages.
So, okay, I want to dive into that a little bit actually. Like as a child, what was it that you were seeing on the TV that was kind of standing out to you saying like, I could actually do that?
I just knew I could do it. You know, I grew up in a household where my mom was a professional singer. My grandfather was a musician.
Okay.
So professional artists,
Yeah.
you know? And I always loved singing. And then I knew that I had a gift for acting. I was introduced to like childhood theater at a young age. And I just knew I was good at it. I felt very at home doing it. And I would see kids on TV that looked like me. At that point, you know, we had a little bit of everybody on
Yeah.
TV. So it was just like a knowing that I had very early on that I was gifted in this area and I could do it. Let me find the casting
Yeah,
number.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
going to hire me.
Yeah. And now I'm
you
assuming
know?
you never found the Barney casting number, right?
No, I remember it was like customer service and they were, you know, like
Yeah.
it was customer service.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So, which is funny because like getting as a kid, you always wondered. I remember wondering how is it that the kids got in, but
Yeah.
obviously it was their parents, right? But either way, I just love the fact that as a kid you were already kind of connecting to what you felt like you could do.
Totally.
And that's like another level of confidence. I think about my daughters that I really want them to be able to have that confidence. And it's beautiful because it almost seems like seeing your family be able to be professionals within those creative areas you knew and inside of you had that instilled confidence that, oh, this is the area that I'm good at. I could probably do this too.
Yeah. I was confident in knowing that I could do it, but I always lacked confidence in execution. And that's been something that like has carried me through my life. Even now I'm better than I was, but even as a kid, it's so funny. I didn't realize that I had like anxiety issues until
Yeah.
I was an adult. So I went into professional theater and before auditions, when I tell you my heart would pound out my chest, but I didn't know anything about like mental health or anxiety or
Yeah.
never like, I didn't know those were anxiety
Yeah.
attacks, but I would pound out of my chest to the point where my legs would be shaking, but I would do it because I loved it, you know? So while I knew that I could do it and if I was hired, I would be great, I had a very hard time executing or getting to the point where I could show other people that I could do it.
Yeah, and you didn't even really know what it was, which is it's so crazy because I could really relate to that.
Yeah.
I f- I actually found out that I was having anxiety attacks all throughout my life. Like not some people have it like all the time, but I
Right.
was having a good amount every year. But I only found out that it was actually an anxiety attack like this year.
Really?
Yeah, it was just this year. I'll tell you this, I'm not so great at really feeling my body and knowing what's
Okay.
going on. You know, doctors, if they put you like on a medication or they ask you, you were sick, what were you feeling? I'm always like I remember being a kid, the doctor would ask you, is it a stabbing pain or what was, I don't remember what the other one is. And I
or
was just be like, it's just pain, you know,
Yeah.
because I don't know.
You didn't have
It's
the
just,
language for it.
yeah, I don't have the language for it.
Yeah.
I'm not so good at like really knowing and pinpointing. So when it came to the anxiety attacks, I was like having heart palpitations and freaking out. And I always feel a lot of sensations in my chest. Like it'll feel really cold and my chest feels like sunken in. Like I feel like it's sinking. And but it took me forever to kind of like feel all of that and realize I was talking to Joanna. And I told her about it and I was like, so what's an anxiety attack like? And I felt so dumb asking that question. But if nobody
You
ever
don't know,
taught
you
you,
don't
how are
know.
you supposed to know?
Right.
And she told me that how it was for her when she's had it before. And I was like explaining to her some experiences I've had. And she's like, that's an anxiety attack. And I was just like, I'm over here
Really?
getting anxiety attacked.
Right.
Like,
Attacked.
yeah, I'm getting
ED.
anxiety
Right.
attacked. Like,
Right.
come on now. Like, navigating anxiety is like, it's already super rough within and of itself. And it's so crazy to me how you explained it. It's like wanting to do it, knowing you can do it,
Yeah.
and still feeling all of these sensations, all of these things that are blocking you
Yeah.
from being able to move forward. As a kid, forget about it.
Right.
But even as an adult, it's
Yeah.
like, it's not like, oh yeah, I figured it out. You know,
Yeah.
it's still super tough.
And that shame, like, because what's helped me like as an adult with it is just being super prepared. I think that takes a lot of it away from me. Like, I don't know how yours manifested, if it was just like random or if it was like when you were trying to do things specifically and, we're building up all this anxiety really, to attack it. But preparing myself has been like super helpful for me. But for a lot of time, I carried shame surrounding the fact that here I am, I know I can do it, and then I'm falling short. And then there's people, particularly like for auditions, who might not have had what I had,
Yeah.
gifting wise, truly,
Right.
but all this confidence. And just were able to go in and just give it. And that is drawing,
Yeah. It is.
So there was like this frustration and this shame to not be able to show what God had really gifted me with,
Yeah.
So that's a lot to deal with as a kid. It was a lot to deal with. And I, in my adulthood, have been able to like process it. And, my life has pivoted. So I don't even have to, I don't know how it would be at this point if I had to audition for anything, honestly.
Yeah.
But there's always things that you have to do, that you have to audition for, so to
Yeah.
speak.
That's so good.
And preparing myself has been really, really helpful. That's why coming in today, I was like, hey, super excited to come in.
Yeah.
Can't wait to talk to you. Little nervous. Do you provide questions ahead of
Yeah.
time? Because while I think it's grand to have a conversation, and I'm really excited that I challenge myself to do that, for me, it's always like, okay, let me think through some thoughts first so that I can feel comfortable.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm going to be like this.
Right. And then if you freeze,
And then
nothing
I'm going to watch
happens.
back and be like,
I was frozen the whole time.
I was frozen the whole time, and I knew I wanted to say something important, but it didn't translate.
Oh my God, my mind is just blown, and like I feel like I really want to dive into this, but I also want to take a little bit of a step back and hear a little bit more of like just your story early on.
Yeah.
But before we even do that, because I definitely want to go back a little bit, it's blowing my mind just because I really identify with that, and I get it. Like, there's people that don't. Like, I literally had a conversation not too long ago with my brother, Nathaniel, who was actually recently on the podcast. And we were talking about anxiety, and he was basically asking me, so what is that like?
Yeah. What a joy to not experience it.
And he's just, and I know he doesn't get anxious because he is the most laid back. You know those people that are too chill?
Yeah.
Like, you need, like, yo, put some pep in your step, bro. Like, he's like that. He's that type of person. And I always get on him for that. But the adverse effect of that is the fact that he's really just not anxious. Like, he's always just, he's chilling. Like, he's moving forward, and he's kind of has this confidence to him too, which is so funny. But I remember reading this quote that said something along the lines of, there are people out there with half the talent you have who are accomplishing everything you want to accomplish just because they were confident and went for it.
Yeah. One of my favorite quotes I learned in kindergarten, you keep things from like your early years. If you lack confidence in self, you were twice defeated in the race of life. Twice defeated. Because if we're not confident and that doesn't translate for everybody else to see, who else is going to believe in it?
Exactly.
And I think what we can relate on is that as an artist, because we're artists, different types of artists, but we feel deeply.
Yep.
That's what makes you a good artist.
Yeah.
So it's those deep feelings that we have that makes us sensitive. And then trying to translate that into art, it's very vulnerable. So if God hasn't gifted you in that way, sometimes you can't even understand like how we navigate day to day.
Yeah. Yeah, and that can be incredibly difficult. Um, and it's just, to me, it attests to the fact of how much we really need to rely on. I heard somebody like coin the phrase Godfidence, like just like have confidence in Him,
Totally.
right? And that's something that I really have to hold on to because, He's always going to show up. There's seasons where they're low and it's just like, oh, what's going on? God, are you still here? And then He always shows up. So it's kind of like whatever it is that I'm going through, I have to constantly remind myself, like, in the end of all of this, God is going to show me where His hand was.
Yeah, that's good.
He's going to show me what He did and how even the low points where I thought everything was completely lost did not go to waste. But it's so true.
Yeah.
And it's a constant reminder. One of the things that really sucks about being a human being is that we really do have short memories. And you see it all throughout scripture. You see God saving Israel, for example. You see Him doing things with them and calling people in the church and telling them to do things. And then my favorite example is literally they're verses away from each other. You have Elijah going and confronting the prophets of Baal, literally doing one of the most gangster things ever. Like, oh yeah, go and make your sacrifice. Do whatever you need to do to get your God to answer. And he's just chilling there. They're over there cutting themselves, doing all a bunch of crazy stuff. And when they're all done, he goes and he pours water on his sacrifice. Pours so much water on it that the wood is drenched. It's literally like a moat of water around it. And then calls on God to put it on fire and it blazes up. Like, that's the most gangster thing. And then a few verses later, he's hiding in a cave from Jezebel. It's like, bro, what? You just saw God do one of the most craziest things recorded in the Bible. And then 2 minutes later, or however long it was later, you're hiding in a cave from Jezebel? You're afraid? And he's like crawled up and in a ball. And I'm like, well, I can't really criticize because how many times have I done that? How many times have I been Elijah? Witnessing God's miracles, then diving into fear the next day. And then to what you said earlier, there's the shame part of that then, right? Where a lot of times we're just not even going to admit the fact that we dove into that fear, that we were afraid.
Yeah.
And I think that the lack of those conversations really creates a hole within the church that makes people feel like their feelings are only theirs.
Totally.
They think I'm the only one who lacks confidence in God. I'm the only one who is afraid that I'm not going to make it. I'm the only one that feels like I'm never going to be married or I'm never going to find my purpose. And there are so many people experiencing these things. So I'm gonna stop there before we keep going down the rabbit hole because that's so good already. But let's dive back into that childhood you, a lot of confidence, experiencing that anxiety. How did life continue for you from that?
I always felt like I was an adult in like a child's body.
Yeah.
You know?
So did I.
Like I always, like I remember I had to have been little.
Right.
I had to have immature thoughts, but I've always felt like I was an adult in a child's body and dealt with complex things that I think normal children didn't deal with, So my childhood was great. I had great parents. I had a wonderful sister. I had supportive parents that, made sure that I had everything I needed and were pushed in the right direction. I think just opening that door early for like the things that I desired long term weren't necessarily like the best move. Because there are things that I just should not have been dealing with, thoughts that I shouldn't have been dealing with, like dealing with like lack of confidence at such an early age, like carried through. And that's something that I had to heal from as an adult.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it necessarily would have been an issue if I was not trying to attack things that were adult things or should have been just adult for me. I should not have been trying to be calling Barney to get on the casting, things like that, but it was really something that I was passionate about. And some of those passions you have to know as like a parent are for later in life.
Wow. That's crazy. That is so crazy because it shows, to me, the way I'm seeing that is like there's such a duality to even things that are good.
Yeah.
Right? Because a lot of people would see that and be like, oh, wow, look at my daughter or look at my little cousin or my little niece, whatever. Right. And they're like, she wants to be on Barney and she actually took the yellow pages and she started calling the phone numbers. Like, that's amazing. Meanwhile, there was an adverse effect to it as well. And then, you know what's crazy about that? I feel like now there is so little that we can do to protect young girls. It freaks me out as a father of 3 girls, 4th girl coming, so 4 girls.
Yeah.
I'm like, with social media and somebody who's really active on social media, I really want to hear your take on that, right? Social media, the way people use social media, TV always has been a thing. At least for us, right?
Yeah.
Movies, everything is projecting what confidence looks like, what will make you confident, and so much of that, and what makes you accepted in this world. And granted, boys and men are not exempt from that because they go through it as well. But with all of those things, nowadays, it almost feels like for you growing up, there was an opportunity to protect you from that. But now I almost feel like kids are assaulted by all of these things on a daily basis and they have so much to deal with that it's like you can't expect any kid to really even be able to handle that very well. And so I feel like there's so many young girls that might even be growing up with such an attack to what their confidence is that we as parents really have to really normalize protecting them in whatever way that we can.
Yeah.
And setting up boundaries and systems in their life that help them to have a confidence in themselves that is healthy.
Yeah.
And a confidence in God that becomes their foundation.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It totally makes sense. It's tough. And it's things you don't even think about until you have kids, and we're not there yet. Our kids are young, so thank God. But still, there's things that they can see all the time. Even if you have boundaries on TV, the commercials.
Yeah.
It's like cognitively mised in their mind through these images, and it's scary. It's really scary. So one of the things that was really important to me as a mom was being able to be home so that I could really have that hands-on protection.
Yeah.
Protection. Where they're going, what they're seeing, what they're doing, who they're around, kind of conversations they're having. When it comes to social media, I'm resigned to like them not being able to see any of it until I can't keep them away from it.
Yeah, same here.
There's nothing good to come from it, truly. I use it. It's my full-time job.
Right.
And it's been such a blessing for me and for my family, but I don't want them on it.
Yeah. And I'm sure you have a lot of like safeguards and guardrails for yourself, for your heart, even because as somebody who
I mean, I do. I mean, I'm not going to consume certain things. Like my algorithm knows what I want to see.
Right.
And it's usually pretty safe for my spirit.
Yeah.
It's mom content. It's, it's Christian-based content. But if I went down the deep dive, there's all types of things you can see. And then you're scrolling at all hours of the day and night sometimes. And sometimes I do have to check my heart. What did I just see? Now, why am I feeling this way? And why am I getting this thought? Because that's the plan, truly, through all media, is that it really wrecks us.
Yep.
So, I have to make safeguards. I don't do it like I should. But as far as the kid thing goes, any images that they're seeing on TV, the video games even. My son loves video games. He got it honestly. His father loves video games.
Yeah.
I couldn't keep him from it, really.
Yeah.
But it's scary. It's scary as a parent, like trying to figure out how do we navigate this in today's world. It
Right.
was bad enough when we were kids, but today they're trying to cook the kids.
Yeah. It's scary. And I don't want to obviously God knew that this was going to happen.
Yeah.
He knew that this generation would be dealing with everything that they deal with. And I think that, I got to be honest, I got to toot our horn a little bit here because I feel like our generation, one of the things that we're really doing as fathers and mothers, we're all really working hard to be intentional,
Yeah.
involved, caring, kind parents, right?
Yeah.
And
Aware.
aware
Of who
just
we
like
are.
involved. Like I just be talking to myself and I'm like, sometimes I'm like, yo, E, if you don't deal with this, you're gonna pass this on. For so many different things. And that type of self-awareness is so valuable. Not to say that it's easy, not to say that it's simple, right?
Yeah.
Like with me, with the whole social media thing and how much video I'm involved with, it's very hard to get away. Like I have friends who they just decided, they said, my tweak is going to be that I'm really not going to be on social media.
Yeah.
And they came off completely.
Right.
I don't really feel like I have that option.
We don't.
I don't.
No.
Right?
No.
Because of the nature of my work.
Right.
And so it becomes even harder to have those safeguards and those guardrails. And I'm never going to be like that type of person who is going, like, even though I'm somebody who is very much more intentional about what they consume. I try to limit the TV. It's very hard to, but I try to. Our personal decision was to not do tablets, right?
Oh, good.
Right. That was our personal decision. But because parenting is so hard in this day and age, I'm never going to point my finger at somebody and be like, oh, you're doing it wrong, because we all just really trying to figure it out here.
We're trying to figure it out.
That's what it is. And I think of, and share with me if this is how it was for you. Like I think of 7, 8, 12, 15-year-old me. And I think of that Eric and I wonder, what did he need? And how can I be that now for my daughters? Right? I think about the struggles that I went through because of my relationship with my parents. And my parents loved me.
Yeah.
But we still went through some things. And I'm like, okay, what do I need to do in order to not replicate that?
Yeah.
To not do that again, to carry that on or to pass it on again. My oldest, Kaya Sharp.
I love Kaya.
Kaya's sharp, and she be catching things now.
Yeah.
And she'll call me out on it.
Yeah.
Or she'll call her grandma out on it.
Right.
And then sometimes she calls her grandma out on it. And I'm like, oh, I'll be doing that too. And that's a sobering moment. But so many of us could just move on.
Yeah.
Without having taken that in and internalizing it and then making it actionable.
Yeah.
Right? It's all three of those things. Catching it, sifting through it internally. Okay, what do I do now?
Yeah.
And so many times I used to just get caught in the internalizing.
Okay.
The shame, diving in. But it needs to be actionable.
Yeah.
Because you think of that younger you.
Yeah. It's that mirror that's held up to you. It's held up in marriage. And then there's another mirror, a big one, held up to you.
I thought the marriage one was enough.
The marriage one is huge.
I was like,
it is enough.
Oh,
it is enough for real.
It is.
That marriage mirror.
But then the kids one came.
But then the kids one is like up here and under you, and to the side, and to the right, and to the left.
Yo, if you know, you know.
It's steep.
Hey, what is going on? Listen, really quick, I just wanted to interrupt this episode to give you a quick message about our Patreon page. Patreon is a platform that allows creators like me to be able to make exclusive content for people like you, and in turn for you to help support our ministry efforts and our creative efforts in trying to advance the gospel to everyone that might be going through a painful situation, so that they can believe that their valley has purpose and they can roar on their mountaintop. Would you consider joining our Patreon today, becoming a member and supporting us in that goal so that we can reach more people for God's kingdom and bless more lives? More information down below in the description. Let's go back to the episode right now. See you guys later.
It's deep. And then it's the healing and the growth that we just have to do when we're still trying to raise somebody. We're still getting raised up and healing through things.
Yeah.
We're never going to be perfect.
Yeah.
But that mirror, it's such a beautiful thing. And it's a difficult thing to heal through all the things that we dealt with as kids while trying to raise kids as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy.
It's not. But sometimes for me, I like going back to that whole image of the younger you. I find a lot of strength in wanting to do it for him.
Yeah.
I find a lot of strength in that.
Yeah.
Because I just think like he couldn't get it, but as a father, he gave it.
Yeah. That's
Is
beautiful.
that's powerful,
That's
right?
beautiful.
It's like if it were somebody telling the story and they told it like that, for me, that's okay. Like that's dope.
Yeah.
You know? There's this thing that I've talked about it frequently on the podcast, a few times actually, but it's like this concept that I like talking about digging deeper wells. And anybody who's heard it, they're probably like, "Oh, you gonna talk about that again?" But I love it so much because basically what it is that in the simplest form I can express it to you is just that the concept of the well and how you draw from a well water, right? We all inherit the well of our parents, no matter what. And naturally through life, no matter what, typically, we improve the well in some ways. You know, I know somebody who had a father who his father literally lit the house on fire while he was in it.
Okay.
That's like an extreme level of not even abuse. That's just like, what the heck is going on here? Now, he grew on to be an abusive father. But in his mind, he actually did much better.
Okay.
Right? So I don't think there was much self-awareness there. But in actuality, he did do better. Right? So the well, we inherit the same well from our parents. Most of us, 99% of us, make some improvements to that well. But digging deeper wells for me is like the intentional act of getting in there, digging out what's in there that's not working, and digging a deeper well for your children.
Yeah.
Rather than it just being from one generation to one generation, small improvements and enhancements.
Breaking that chain.
Breaking it down and saying,
Yeah.
I'm going to give them a completely new well.
Yeah.
And that's something that I feel like our generation is doing. Not everybody, of course, right? But it's something that I just love. And a lot of times I'm like, I'm not even doing it enough. But think about it. If instead of it just being one generation of improvement, if you could go 5, 10, 15, do the work of 15 generations for your kids.
Yeah.
That's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very intentional about that as well. Like I said, I had a wonderful childhood. My parents were fantastic, but there's things that happen.
They're people.
They're people.
Yeah,
they're people. And they were trying to figure it out just like we're trying to figure it out.
There's no handbook.
No, there's no handbook, you know? So I'm very intentional about that. And it's hard work, but what I find is such a comfort. But God is so loving. He's just so loving. And I feel like that wonderful peace and comfort he gives you when you are doing the work is enough to continue to push through.
Yeah.
So while I find it exhausting to work on myself, I'm in a season of doing hard things, whether it be parenting or whether it be marriage and whether it be work related. I'm doing the work, and it's so gratifying and comforting
Yeah.
to be able to see the progress
Yeah.
and to be like, Brie, you're really doing this. You're really a grown woman.
Yeah.
You're doing grown woman things.
Uh-huh.
And God is getting you through, and he's proud of you. I want God to be proud of me.
And he is.
Yeah, I feel like he is. I feel like I'm doing hard things, and they have not been easy. But God has been so gracious and so loving and so kind. And I'm proud of that.
It's so awesome to even hear you say that, because earlier you were sharing about the whole confidence in
Yeah.
yourself and the anxiety. And I'm sure that in some way you probably still deal with that in some ways,
Yeah.
right? But to see, like, imagine just the 8-year-old, the 10-year-old
Yeah.
version of you just being here now. Like, she would probably be looking at you in awe, like, just like, you're doing all of that? Wow.
Yeah.
Like, I know if it were me, the younger version of me, even just like the 18-year-old me, like, walks into the office and he's like, this
This
is
is
your
your
office?
office? Right.
You have you're on YouTube?
Yeah.
You have a podcast? You've done 60 episodes?
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah. And you're doing it consistently. That's the thing. The consistency of it all.
And we don't do that enough. We don't do enough of, this is going to sound like really like prideful even, but if you can really approach it, think of it innocently, you can see what I'm saying. Like, we don't take time to be in awe of ourselves.
Right.
Not in a way of like, some people just need to not be in awe of themselves, right? But in our sense, right, we don't take a moment to just be like, I'm out here doing the things that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I'm figuring it out. I'm not perfect,
Right.
but I'm figuring it out, and God is with me.
Right.
And how can I celebrate this? Like,
Yeah.
how can I celebrate the small wins? How can I celebrate all of this? And even that, I think, would lend itself so much to that that fear that sometimes comes in, or the anxiety that comes in, and you being able to pull from that and saying, no, I've been there before.
Yeah.
Pull from the strength of your younger self,
Yeah.
right? And be like, no, I figured it out in this season.
Yeah.
God brought me through in that season.
Yeah.
I thought I wasn't going to make it in that other season, and I'm still here. So I'm still going to be here tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. We have to reflect on it. It's such a comfort to reflect on it. And I mean, like you said, even a couple minutes ago, I was reluctant to even say I'm proud of that. But yes, I am.
You should be.
I am proud of that. And it's okay to say that, because look what God has done. It's being proud of God telling me to do something and actually doing it. I'm most proud of that in these last 10 years or so. God really saying, hey, Brianna, you got to tighten up right here. Brianna, you got to let this go in life. You've really got to get it together here. Watch me open this door for you. And then you walking through it, and look what God has done. That's my testimony in this last 10 years, really doing what God told me to do. And it was hard things, letting things go, walking away from certain things, being dedicated in a different way, and God just moving. I'm proud of that.
Yeah. You know how many people don't do it?
It's hard. It's hard. It's selfless. It's going against your flesh and everything you want to do. It's not easy, but God calls us to do hard things. And even if there was no return on it, I would be proud of just being obedient.
You're reminding me of this quote that I heard this morning that said, we're all self-made.
Yeah.
All of us. It's just that only the successful people talk about it. And it went on to just talk about the fact that you're not going to be happy at the end of your life if you didn't it was a secular thing, so it talked about pursuing your dream. But for the Christian, I think you're not going to be happy in your life if you don't pursue God's purpose for your life.
Yeah.
You're not going to be happy.
Yeah.
That's going to bother you for
That's
the
a horrible
rest
feeling.
of your life.
That's a horrible feeling.
God told you to do something and you didn't do it. And every time God's going to tell you to do something, it's going to be scary.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy. It's going to feel like it's outside of your wheelhouse. It's going to stretch you.
Yeah.
It's going to scare you.
It's not going to make sense.
There's going to be valleys. It's not going to make sense.
It's not going to make sense.
at
Yeah.
all,
Yeah.
and you still got to do it.
Yeah.
And if you don't, it's going
Ooh.
to,
Eat away at your spirit.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then you think about it, you're 60, 70, 80, whatever it is that we end up being, right? And you look back at your
105.
105, right? You look back at your life and you're like, I really didn't do it. Now, safety is comfortable,
Yeah.
right? Like, especially if pursuing your purpose means like moving across the country to
Yeah.
do this hard thing of being a missionary to a certain group of people, wherever it is. Or for you, the hard thing is going on social media, right? Or for you, the hard thing is becoming a pastor. Or for you, the hard thing is starting a business. Or opening your heart to actually getting married. That's the hard thing for you. And then knowing that God said it, because we be knowing when it's God,
Yeah.
right? When it's God, it's very clear.
Yeah.
He makes it very clear. And you don't take action on that. It's just, you're just not going to be happy.
Right.
So it goes back to the whole, we're all self-made. Our daily decisions make up who we are.
Yeah.
The decisions that we make in our life make up the future that we are going towards. And if we keep making the same decisions, we're going to keep getting the same things.
Yeah.
And applying that to our relationship with God, it's like God is going to keep calling you. The more you deny the voice, it gets quieter and quieter, but it's still there. That's part of his loving kindness towards us. He's just not going to let you just run away.
Right.
He's going to, oh no, I want you to do this. Oh, but God, in this season, I need you to give me a new word. You ain't act on the word I gave you in the last season. Why am I give you a new word? You don't need a new word. You need the old word. Go back to what I told you to do.
Father.
You know how many times
Just like a father.
Yeah.
Right.
You know how many times he said that to me? Why are you looking for, God, why haven't you spoken to me lately? Because I spoke.
Because I spoke. Yeah.
Getting chills right now.
Yeah.
Thinking about it.
Period. Just making the choice to be obedient to the Lord. Just getting up the courage and then just really checking in with like your heart posture and how much you love the Lord. Because really it's saying, I love you so much that even though I don't want to do this, I'm going to do it for you, because that's what the Lord has done for us. We're called to do that. So it's just having that right heart posture and then again, going back to like doing grown woman things, like I'm grown. I always say that about myself. Like, come on, Bree, it's you're grown. Like, we can't mess around anymore. I have children. I have to think generationally.
Yeah.
It's such a call. But when I just think about myself and my personal relationship with the Lord, it's like, okay, do I love you enough to really just do what you're telling me to do? So that's where I had to get in my life with the Lord. And then it was go time. And then it was shedding time. And then it was letting go time. And then it was valleys, hills, darkness, joy, peace, love, abundance. He's so good.
What was it for you that got you to the point where you even asked that question? Because that's a scary question to ask yourself.
Rock bottom. Rock bottom. Not on the outside, like nobody would know it was rock bottom, but just feeling empty in my growth with the Lord.
Yeah.
And my direction in the unfulfillment of the passions that I had in life. One of the major things that I had to let go personally in my life was marijuana. That was huge for me. And the Lord tried to get that out of my life so many times.
Yeah.
And that was really, really difficult for me because I loved it. I loved it. And it was a comfort for me going back to like anxiety and things, because it would deaden it all.
Where my brain
It would
literally
deaden
went to
it
the
all.
anxiety.
It was like, oh, okay, well, this is my self-medication. And now I'm good. And it was only after coming out of it that I realized what a lie it was.
Wow.
In my life. What a lie. What a time waster. But God restored all. He restored all. So that was something that was very difficult for me to let go. And then it allowed me to see clearly, spiritually clear. That was really difficult. And then it was just shedding of other things, small things here and there. But that was a major thing for me in my life.
Yeah. I want to dive into that a little bit because I think there's so much value there. I have friends who experience similarly, like because they just they smoked very frequently. It was like a big anxiety thing. I have a friend who it calmed down his asthma. Right.
That's seems backwards.
Right. Exactly.
Protect
right.
your lungs.
Yeah. Right. You would think it wouldn't. Right. And he had pretty bad asthma. But like I know that for some people, you know why I think it's so interesting because with marijuana, you typically hear people say, "Oh, I could just drop it when I want to."
No. Well, maybe they could.
Right.
Maybe they could.
Maybe they could.
Maybe they could.
But a lot of people, you know, obviously we're not going to put it in the same league as these other harder drugs, right? But it does have a sense of control over the person. Like maybe they're not addicted to the marijuana itself, but they're addicted to what it does for them. And letting that go, right? If it's like anxiety, how it was for you, where it calmed that down. And let me tell you, when I tried, I'm on medication now for anxiety. It's very light. But this is how annoying it was, where I had basically low grade anxiety at all times. Not always high, right? But I basically just had, my baseline was low grade anxiety. And coming to like kind of realize that and just getting on a very simple, not heavy dose of a medication took that small edge off because it was just low grade.
Okay.
But how relieving that was, where I was like,
I'm calm.
I've never experienced this before. I didn't know that there was an actual baseline I wasn't experiencing because I always had that low grade anxiety.
Yeah.
And so me being able to experience that,
You
I
can
get
kind
it.
of relate.
I get it,
Yeah.
right? So God saying, let this go.
Yeah.
Your experience telling you this works for me,
Yeah.
and choosing to trust him, that's not easy.
No.
And there's so many different things we could apply that to, but that's why I think this is such a valuable thing to spend some time on, because you literally were able to do what God said and give it up.
Yeah. It was one of the hardest things people think it's crazy when I say that, but it's honest to God truth.
I don't think it's
It
crazy
was one
at
of the
all.
hardest things I ever had to do in my life. And it wasn't even, for me, my thought at the time wasn't even about anxiety. I just liked doing it. Like I picked up marijuana. And so I went to school for musical theater, right?
Right.
Musical theater kids are some of the smartest people you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
They will show up. They are A+ students. Some of them are brilliant. But when we like to party, they like drugs.
Yeah.
I thank God I've never touched anything other than marijuana. But we would get high and we would sing show tunes. Like
Yeah.
it's not like we were in the streets doing crazy
Right,
stuff.
right,
You know,
right,
I
right.
wasn't worldly outside of
No,
that.
I get it.
I just like to take the edge off and sing a show tune.
Yeah.
You know? So I got into that in college, and it just carried through out of college. When some people let it go, it tracked through my life. And I think it was really the enemy's attempt to try to deaden my purpose.
Wow.
Because it deadened, it was such a waste of time. I love talking about it to people who have issue with it, because I think it's such a lie, the feeling of relief that comes, because it's really not relieving anything. It's creating more problems. And I know it did for me personally. So just getting to the point where it was like, okay, now I'm, married, kids, wanting more for my life. I have to let go of this out of my life. And it was one of the hardest things I've ever done.
And worth it.
Totally worth it. Free.
So what would you say to a person that were in the same situation as you? Because I think, like, this is why I said I don't think it's silly. Like you were saying, how other people think it's silly, because there's a reason for everything, right? There is so much tied to that for you.
Yeah.
Maybe things you haven't even discovered or maybe never will, that were tied to why you had the attachment to it.
Yeah.
And for you, it was that, but everybody got something.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
thing. Everybody's got something.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks that their something is silly.
Silly. Not that serious. I can
Yeah,
let it
yeah.
go.
No,
I'm
like,
just doing
oh.
it. Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
that exact mentality that
Yeah.
keeps us in it.
It keeps you bound.
Because you think, oh, it's not that serious,
Mm-hmm.
or some people say I could let it go whenever I want,
Mm-hmm.
or some people think I'll deal with this later. Whatever it is,
Yeah.
then God says, give me that.
Yeah. It's spiritual. I think you really is like any addiction is really a stronghold on your life. So I think you have to really recognize that it's spiritual to begin with. Really pray through that thing. It's not going to be lights off on day one. And some people are able to do that cold turkey. It was a journey for me,
Yeah.
but just really asking the Lord for the strength, because it takes a lot of strength spiritually, physically, emotionally to get through something like that. But any addiction is just a real spiritual stronghold.
Yeah.
I think it's demonic, and I think it's a lie for the enemy to really just chip away at God's purpose for your life, chip away at your relationship with him so it's not as strong. And you have to really get with the Lord on it. Otherwise, I don't know how I would have came up out of it otherwise. It would not have been a choice for me. It was the Lord's strength.
Yeah. I want to take that and make it even more like actionable. Because for me, it was very similar. There were certain things in my life that they were strongholds, right?
Yeah.
And I like how you said they chip away, because it chips away. It's not taking huge chunks out of you, but it's just chipping away at your purpose. It's just, oh, let me take a little bit here. And you add all of that little bit up, and it's enough to just keep you behind, to
Yeah.
keep you stuck. And so there were things that, it didn't matter how many times I prayed on a Sunday. It didn't matter how many times when I went to a retreat, I cried about it. It didn't matter how much times I was like all of the things, right? Doing research, reading books, talking to Christians, watching sermons. None of that did anything, right? Until I really started to spend time with him.
Yeah.
When I really, really again, going back to what we were saying earlier, but putting yourself in the position to grow,
Yeah.
not quick fixes.
Yeah.
A 3-day retreat is going to do wonders for your connection with God.
Right.
And it will also last about 3 days if you do not cultivate it.
Yeah.
It's fast growth, but most fast growth also quickly dies.
Right.
Because it still needs to be put in a place where it can continue to grow slowly.
Yeah.
After that. And so when I really started to just spend time with him in prayer and looking for him and not looking for quick fixes, some of those things just shed off. They just come off.
Yeah.
All of a sudden I had the strength to resist the enemy, like
Yeah.
scripture says. You put on the armor of God, and all of a sudden you can resist.
Yeah.
You can take the assault that he's coming at you.
Right.
It doesn't make it easy. There's going to still be times where you fall as a human being, right? You're going to still mess up in other different ways. You're going to have moments where you're weak, but you definitely get stronger.
Yeah.
You definitely start to overcome.
Yeah.
You definitely start to become different. And it's
Different.
because of him.
Yeah.
It's because of him. And I think that if there's anybody listening, for example, who's just has their something, could be super strong, could be something they think is not super strong, but you really think about it, it is.
Yeah.
Right? The key here is his strength, not yours.
Absolutely.
The key here is his strength, not ours. Because we're just not going to be able to do it on our own. We can't.
Yeah.
We need him.
Yeah. That's good.
So, man, Bree, we're definitely doing a part 2.
Are we?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You did I had an absolutely amazing time just talking with you and you sharing your heart. And I'm really grateful for you coming out today.
I'm so grateful that you asked me. I'm proud of myself.
You
I'm
should
proud
be.
of myself.
You should be.
Yeah.
You should be. And it's so beautiful just to hear how God has shaped your story and what he's
Yeah.
doing with you. And I just want to say, like, as your friend, I admire everything that you do. Keep
Thank you so
going. God
much.
is using you. Let him use you.
Yeah.
Let him use you to keep speaking to people,
Yeah.
and keep going. Keep being proud of yourself. Keep hyping yourself up, because
Yeah.
you know, people like you and I, we need that.
We need it.
Right?
We
We're
do.
living with our hearts wide open.
Yeah.
And there's so many emotions coming out of that we also need to look inward and allow God to give him some of his emotions, like his creativity. And so, yeah, man. If anybody wants to connect with you, how can they do that?
I'm at That's Brianna B across all social media platforms. I didn't even give an introduction of who I was.
No, that's
No,
true.
I didn't.
Right?
Yeah, I'm Brianna. Yeah, That's Brianna B across all social media platforms. DM me. Like, I love to connect with people. I love community. That's my heart. That's my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really does something for me. So please connect. Thank you for connecting this today. This is just awesome. I'm really proud of you too.
Oh, thank you.
I
Don't do
am.
that.
It's not easy. It's not
Yeah,
easy,
it's
Eric.
not.
You
It's
have
not.
a wife, you have 4 kids almost, and a heart to do something major.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot of major steps to do it, and you're doing it. You should be really, really, really proud of that.
Thank you. Appreciate you so much.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here in today's episode. Make sure that you click the video that's coming up on the screen, because YouTube thinks that you're going to enjoy it. I will see you guys in the next one. God bless you guys. Peace.